Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Shenzel Community Center here on a balmy, soon to be record breaking hot day, 87 degrees outside, which is why we're thrilled to have you here for the first of two roller derby bouts here this afternoon. We'll begin with introductions for the Omaha Junior Roller Derby here. Starting off in the black jerseys are Shamrock Shakes, number 10, Paper Jam, number 817, L's Angels, number 22, Tranquility. Number 217, Kermit. Number 777, Taco Cat. Number 48, Unicorn Crash. Number 37, Piper Drive. Number 8, Riot. Number 0, Frostbite. 76, Blue Goose. Number 9090, Willow Go Go. Number 4, Penny Puncher. And number 01, Charbar. Howdy. In the white jerseys, your Lucky Charms. Number 975, Snitches Get Stitches. Thank you. Number 67, Cyclops. Number 57, Honey Badger. Number 6, Crash Corgi. Number 225, Scaredy Cat. Number 22, Danny Boy. Number 42, Brainstorm. 91, Chaos. Number 88, Toxic Waste. Number 21, Exploding Kittens. Number 619, Junebug. And number 80, ADHD Destroyer.
That's right. Or no, we're all content for you, but now like that's so that's pleasure. That's what it is. It's separate. Yes. I think grab like one is general the one from the specs. Okay. Do you have this? Yeah, it takes and then I would should hit the same picture. Yeah. You
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as our officials get ready and our players come to the track, who's ready for a riveting day, a roller derby?
I'll kind of go there. Get there for 5 seconds. So on so forth. If you need timeout, it stops. Leave your red mark. Sometimes it predicts that first. So it's 51. This thing's got to start. Delays me trying to troubleshoot, but
Scoreboard on notes.
yes.
No, that's
That's adults.
What a roster?
Yeah, it's rough.
do you
That's a
Oh, I do.
They can't.
Here, I'll switch you.
think we need to correct the 816, 817.
Oh wait, you guys are.
It's on-
No. Sideline.
What do they need?
Roster. You guys
So are you guys good to go?
Tell you what, folks, technical difficulties are some of my favorite things here on a warm Saturday. But I digress. We are ready to get underway here. Starting off on the jam line and immediately being your lead jammer for the Shamrock Shakes is Piper Drive. And that is Piper Drive through the pack for 4 points, kicking off this bout. That is also Junebug jamming for the Lucky Charms. Both jammers approach the pack. Some pretty good blocking here from the juniors. Trying to keep both from getting through. Both do eventually get through. That is 4 points for each jammer. Good opening for both jammers. Once again through the pack. 4 more points added on to each of their totals. With about 53 seconds left in this first jam of the bout. After a quick 4 additional points for each team, it is 12 points for the Lucky Charms, 16 for the Shamrock Shakes. And we'll take an official timeout here to some things out.
Zero 6 1. It's all good. You got cool.
Thank you.
Perfect.
I like this one.
With those technical issues resolved, we're ready to get back underway here for the second jam of this bout. That is Cyclops on the jam line and your lead jammer here for the Lucky Charms in white. Meanwhile, still yet to get through the pack amid some pretty good blocking from the Lucky Charms. Good work here by the Shamrock Shakes to prevent Cyclops from pushing through for 4 points. 2 more to get through. And they do for 4 points tacked on to the Shamrock Shakes. I'm sorry, for the Lucky Charms. Haven't had enough coffee yet here today. Really good blocking from both teams against both these jammers here. Hell's Angels still yet to get through the back. Cyclops does manage after some real stiff opposition there. A last second hit there by the Lucky Charms blocker keeps Hell's Angels from breaking out of the pack. This is the first time out of these 2 bouts that is the Lucky Charms in the lead. 24 points to 16 for the Shamrock Shakes. Jammer here in this third jam of the bout. ADHD Destroyer jamming for the Lucky Charms. ADHD Destroyer through for 4 points for the Lucky Charms. Riot fighting against a trio of blockers. Trying to get through for 4 more of their own, and they do. 4 points tacked on for the Shamrock Shakes before that bout is called off. Now, don't forget to stick around for our second bout of the day here at 3 p.m. It'll be your Omaha Roller Derby skaters against Flat Rock Roller Derby. Cyclops back on the jam line for the Lucky Charms. Up against Paper Jam for the Shamrock Shakes. It is Paper Jam who is through and is lead jammer. Cyclops with some speed and muscle to get through for 4 points for the Lucky Charms. Paper Jam fighting against some established blocking there. And does make it through for 4 points of their own for the Shamrock Shakes.
It's right there on paper. Over here, the shoulder.
Oh.
Over,
What do you?
left side.
With this?
Let's not do it. The official? No, you must not have it. Sorry.
After that jam, Lucky Charms hold a narrow 36 to 25 point lead over the Shamrock Shakes. That's Piper Drive, who is your lead jammer in this bout for the Shamrock Shakes. Meanwhile, it is number 88, Toxic Waste, jamming for the Lucky Charms. Piper Drive through with some agility, tacking on 4 points for the Shamrock Shakes, trying to close that gap. Only a 7-point lead for the Lucky Charms now. Toxic Waste putting in work of their own. That's 4 more points for the Lucky Charms. Hyperdrive avoids a quick block there to tack on 4 additional points for the Shamrock Shakes. And Toxic Waste is through for 4 more. About 48 seconds left in this jam. Piper Drive's going to try for 20 points. This is a 20-point jam for Piper Drive, and it brings the Shamrock Shakes almost into the lead. Just a 3-point gap. What a jam. Looks like the one and only Crash Corgi jamming here for the Lucky Charms. Facing up against number 10, Paper Jam for the Shamrock Shakes. This jam underway, both jammers having a bit of a tough time breaking through all these blockers. Crash Corgi does make it through and is the lead jammer here. after some tremendous one-on-one blocking earlier on. Crash Corgi versus number 2, Tranquility. Number 22, excuse me. Now that is number 6, Crash Corgi, off to the penalty box, meaning this is a power jam for the Shamrock Shakes in an attempt to try and take the lead once again. Hyper Jam does make it through for their first pass out of the pack. This next pass, they'll attempt to get those 4 points that would launch Shamrock Shakes into the lead. Now, just as Crash Corgi comes back onto the track, it is Paper Jam sent off for a penalty, meaning this is now a power jam for the Lucky Charms. Lucky Charms taking advantage with 4 points tacked on, the first points of this jam so far. Good blocking there by number 975. Sniffles gets stitches in favor of the Lucky Charms. It does allow for another 4 points for the team in white. A solid jam comes to an end here with an 11-point lead. Lucky Charms, I'm sorry, a 13-point lead for Lucky Charms, 58-45. Just under 20 minutes left in this first period. Before we get underway, we'll have a official timeout as Nancy out there doing some great track repair. And everything now in tip-top shape. We're about ready to get back to the action. Number 8, Riot, lining up on the jam line for the Shamrock Shakes. Meanwhile, it is number 21, Exploding Kittens, jamming for the Lucky Charms. And that is Exploding Kittens, who is the lead jammer here. Number 76, Blue Goose, not too far behind. Now jamming for the Shamrock Shakes. Blue Goose through for 4. And that jam comes to a close. Now a 12-point lead for the Lucky Charms. This 8th jam of the bout comes around with Cyclops jamming for the Lucky Charms. That is Cyclops, who is their lead jammer here. Facing up against number 22, Danny Boy, for the Shamrock Shakes. I apologize. That is number 22, Tranquility. Cyclops makes it through for 4 more points before calling off that jam. Piper Drive on the jam line for the Shamrock Shakes here. Piper Drive right away out of the pack and is your lead jammer here, trying to follow up on that 20-point jam last time out. Meanwhile, some ferocious blocking on the part of the Shamrock Shakes, preventing that jammer from trying to get through, preventing me from knowing who that jammer is, so my apologies. Bit of a bowling lane out there, huh? Piper Drive is through for 4 additional points. That is 0-1 Charbar jamming for the... Hold on a second. Piper Drive through for 4 additional points, cutting that lead by the Lucky Charms to less than 10. Four points tacked on for Charbar and the Lucky Charms. Both Charbar and Piper Drive through for 4 additional points on their respective parts. Excuse me, Piper Drive once again racking up a 20-point jam there. And we'll have another official timeout before the action gets back underway here.
You're good. Take your time. How we doing, friends? Okay. Do you understand what I mean when I'm hold up forward and the jam ends up with 0?
Sorry, it's music is wrong.
Yeah.
I'm transparent.
Regulation derby, it'd be like that.
Fix it. I'll just.
You're a cat?
Yeah.
All right.
And we're about ready to get back underway here. A narrow 7-point lead for the Lucky Charms. That is number 975 on the white team. Snitches get stitches. Who's your lead jammer here? And that's Kermit jamming for the Shamrock Shakes. Good agility there on the part of Snitches get stitches for 4 points. Good blocking there against number 217 Kermit, preventing them from getting out of the pack just yet. Now some good blocking on behalf of the Shamrock Shakes up against Snitches get stitches. And they do get through for 4 additional points for the Lucky Charms. That star pass to number 10, Piper Jam. Another 4 points for Snitches get stitches, and the Lucky Charms. Trying to break the 100 mark there. Still anyone's game here, just under halfway through this first period. 89-74, Lucky Charms in the lead. That whistle means we have a team timeout called by the Shamrock Shakes. While we're in this timeout, if your appetite's getting as worked up as mine is watching all this action, please feel free head on over to the concession stand. Fill your belly up with something tasty on this hot day.
And you see Jeeps and stuff or
As we're waiting for the action to get back underway here, ladies and gentlemen, can we get a round of applause for all our officials and volunteers, people who make all this action here possible each and every bout? Thank you very much. That whistle means we are about ready to get back to it. That is number 42 for the Lucky Charms, none other than Brainstorm, who is your lead jammer. That is Blue Goose jamming for the Shamrock Shakes. Brainstorm through for 4 additional points. Some deft agility there on behalf of Blue Goose for 4 points towards the Shamrock Shakes. Big hit by Frostbite trying to keep Brainstorm from getting out of there, but Brainstorm does get 4 more points. It's also 4 additional points for Blue Goose as both the jammers got through the pack. And Brainstorm will make this attempt to take the Lucky Charms into the triple-digit mark. It's a trio of Shamrock Shakes blockers there to try and prevent that. And it proves just a bit too much this go around. 97 points to 86, 99 to 86 for the Lucky Charms. Just 1 point away from that 100-point mark. Just under 12 minutes left to go here in this first period. We're underway here again. That's going to be Cyclops jamming for the Lucky Charms. Cyclops is your lead jammer to top that off. Here in this 12th jam of the bout. Meanwhile, for the Shamrock Shakes, that is number 816, L's Angels, takes a slide after a hit out of bounds. L's Angels right back on the track. Cyclops is through for 4 points, and that does allow Lucky Charms to break the triple-digit mark. And as you saw, there was a star pass from L's Angels out to number 10, Paper Jam for the Shamrock Shakes. A little technicality there. You do need that star cap on in order to score points. That's why Paper Jam couldn't just simply keep on going. And that jam is called off. 111 points for Lucky Charms after a 12-point jam from Cyclops. 86 for the Shamrock Shakes. Still very much anyone's game. Oh, great. 13th jam of this bout underway. That's number 91 for the Lucky Charms. Chaos with those slick skates. I want a pair of those myself. Chaos, not only your lead jammer, but also earning those first 4 points of the jam. That's Frostbite, who also gets through the patch for 4 points on their part. Frostbite absorbs a good hit there. Meanwhile, Chaos through for 4 additional points. Frostbite through for 4 points. Trying to bring the Shamrock Shakes to that triple-digit mark as well. Good blocking on the part of the Lucky Charms to get 4 more points before that jam is called off. It's number 6, Crash Corgi, jamming here for the Lucky Charms in white as this next jam is underway. It's also Crash Corgi who is the lead jammer here. Gets knocked out of bounds by a tremendous agile hit from Tranquility, number 22. That's also Crash Corgi who's off to the penalty box, meaning this is a power jam for the Shamrock Shakes and their jammer Paper Jam. It's as good an opportunity as any for the Shamrock Shakes to try and take advantage and get up to the triple-digit mark here. Try to close out what was that? 29, if my math is correct, point lead for the Lucky Charms. Crash Corgi back on the track. So both jammers once again active on the track. There's just so much good blocking that you don't really see the jammers zooming around at this moment. Now, because the lead jammer was sent to the penalty box, means this jam will go for its full 2-minute duration. One-on-one matchup here between number 6, Crash Corgi, and number 22, Tranquility. Crash Corgi is sent off to the penalty box again for a cut. And this jam comes to a close. This next jam is underway. That's number 8, Riot, who is your lead jammer. Now, because the jammer for the opposing team, Lucky Charms, penalty box means this next jam, current one, starts off as a power jam for the Shamrock Shakes. Hence why Riot is out there scoring points, but now skating off to the penalty box. So let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for our blockers out there. Yeah, thank you. Now this blocker fest comes to an end with the white jammer back on the track. Your white jammer here is number 22, Danny Boy. And with Riot back on the track, means both jammers are now back at it. Both jammers make it through the pack. However, because Riot made it through the first time earlier before that penalty, Riot does earn 4 points, while Danny Boy is about to get their first chance at points here. Riot makes it through for 4 additional points. This does mean Riot has allowed and taken the Shamrock Shakes, that is, into the triple-digit territory, closing that gap between them and the Lucky Charms. Danny Boy threw for 4 points of their own. Just about 10 seconds left here in this 15th jam. That jam comes to a close. Riot was able to tack on 4 additional points there for the Shamrock Shakes, trying to close that gap even more. Means our score now 127 for the Lucky Charms, 109 for the Shamrock Shakes. Just over 3.5 minutes left in this first period. Number 57, Honey Badger, is the lead jammer here in this jam for Lucky Charms. Meanwhile, that's number 217, Kermit, jamming for the Shamrock Shakes. Kermit up against some tremendous blocking from the Lucky Charms. Meanwhile, Honey Badger adding 4 points for the Lucky Charms here. Big hit there by 67 Cyclops on Kermit. As Kermit still trying to push their way through the pack here. Honey Badger, the lead jammer, sent off to the penalty box, meaning once again this jam will go for its full duration. About 52 seconds left here. And just over 2 minutes left in the first period. We have a star pass here for the Shamrock Shakes. That is to L's Angels, trying to work their way through the pack.
Oh.
Only 4 points scored in this jam so far. Combination of penalties and more so, tremendous blocking. Honey Badgers through or almost through. Now is through for 4 points for Lucky Charms right as that jam clock runs out.
And Ash is gonna like my S was or particular.
And this 17th jam is underway. It's Piper Drive jamming for the Shamrock Shakes. Piper Drive immediately is your lead jammer. Not far behind at all, however, is number 80 for the Lucky Charms. That is ADHD Destroyer. In what may very well be here the final jam of this first period. 4 more points for Piper Drive, almost 4 points for ADHD Destroyer, if not for getting just a bit out of bounds there. Now it is 4 points for ADHD Destroyer. On the other side of the track, Piper Drive trying to make their way through for 4. Couldn't quite stay on their feet. ADHD Destroyer trying to get 4 more points. They finally do, as does Piper Drive. 8 points apiece for this last jam of the period now. ADHD started with 4 more points. Piper Drive not far behind with 4 points of their own. And that jam is called off. Your unofficial score as of this intermission, 143 for the Lucky Charms, 121 for the Shamrock Shakes. We have 15 minutes of intermission ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen. So after you get all your snacks and drinks and all that good stuff, feel free to hang around back here as you'll see your first look at both ORD and Flat Rock Roller Derby, taking the track for a few warm-up laps prior to the second half.
What happened on that second?
And your first look at your ORD skaters here in this new season.
One flag of skaters got
That whistle means this is an official score for intermission. I'll be back with you here at the end of the break. A tremendous tripod there by the Lucky Charms. Unicorn Crash is finally through that, trying oh so hard to make their way out for 4 points. And they do. That's 4 points for Unicorn Crash and the Shamrock Shakes. Brainstorm trying with a burst of speed to get through there. Can't quite get the full 4. Oh, it does get the 4 points. Excuse me. And a single point also awarded to Unicorn Crash as that jam comes to a close. Back underway here, second jam. That is Cyclops zooming around the track. Cyclops is your lead jammer here for the Lucky Charms. Cyclops coming in with speed and breaks right through that trio of blockers for 4 points. Cyclops making another run at these blockers. That's number 22, Tranquility, fighting real hard to keep Cyclops from breaking through. But it's the agility that allows Cyclops to get through. 4 additional points tacked on for the Lucky Charms. Combination of a lot of speed and effort there from Cyclops and Lucky Charms, and plenty of blocking, allowing for these points to just rack up over and over again. 12-point jam now for Cyclops and the Lucky Charms. Big hit from number 975. Snitches Get Stitches on number 10, Paper Jam, and that jam comes to a close. We're about ready here for this third jam. I guess this next jam. That is Toxic Waste versus Frostbite, Lucky Charms and Shamrock Shakes, respectively. Both jammers out. I'm sorry, not both jammers. That is Toxic Waste, who is your lead jammer, however, number 88 for the Lucky Charms. Frostbite fighting hard to try and break through the pack as well. One blocker to beat, and they do. Toxic Waste methodically trying to break through the pack here. As Hyperdrive versus Toxic Waste there. Toxic Waste does eventually get through for 4 points for the Lucky Charms. Frostbite also threw for 4 points. Frostbite walking that line and gets another 4. Excuse me, Toxic Waste gets another 4 points. Frostbite almost walked that same line as Toxic Waste, but is called for a penalty. Toxic Waste, on the other hand, with 4 additional points. With Frostbite in the box, this is now a power jam for the Lucky Charms. Some blocker and blocker action enabling Toxic Waste to get through for 4 additional points. This is now a 16-point jam for Toxic Waste and the Lucky Charms. Toxic Waste calls off that jam. Once again, a 16-point jam. Big effort there from Toxic Waste and the Lucky Charms. Now a 53-point lead for the Lucky Charms, 183 to 132. Excuse me, a 51-point lead. If you've just joined us from the outside, you know this already. It is hot out there. It's record hot. 93.7 degrees, the thermometer's reading. Record high temperature here for Omaha. Nice move there from 975. Snitches get stitches. They are your lead jammer here. That was a big hit by Kermit from the Shamrock Shakes. Snitches get stitches through for their first 4 points for the Lucky Charms, trying to re-widen that lead. A lot of speed and a lot of good agility there from Snitches get stitches. That's another 4 points. Trying to bring the Lucky Charms now to that 200-point mark. Kermit trying to beat out Cyclops. Cyclops does push Kermit out of bounds there. Snitches get stitches with a good move there to get 4 additional points. Now 199 for the Lucky Charms. Looks like they'll make a shot at trying to make this, that is, a 20-point jam. Big hit by Snitches get stitches. My goodness. Y'all got to be nice to each other out there. That hit does result in Snitches get stitches sent to the box, meaning this is a power jam for the Shamrock Shakes. Because it was a white lead jammer, that does mean this jam will go for the duration of this jam. 23 seconds left in the jam. Both jammers now back on the track. Snitches get stitches, uses a good move to push Cyclops ahead of them for 4 additional points. That does mean this is a 20-point jam for Snitches get stitches and the Lucky Charms. That was a fast 36 points between those last 2 jams for the Lucky Charms. Underway here now, that is Charbar number 1 in the white for the Lucky Charms jamming. It is also number 76, Blue Goose, jamming for the Shamrock Shakes. And it is Blue Goose, it is their lead jammer. Charbar makes it out of the pack as Blue Goose tries to score their first points in this jam. And Blue Goose is able to make it out of those 4 blockers for 4 points for the Shamrock Shakes. 4 points also for Charbar and the Lucky Charms. There's 2 blockers to beat for Blue Goose, and they do. That's 4 more points for the Shamrock Shakes as Charbar approaches the back, but that jam is called off. Cyclops back on the jam line for the Lucky Charms. Matching up against, looks like Paper Jam there for, the Shamrock Shakes. Once again, Cyclops versus Tranquility. Cyclops does make out huge hit from Snitches Get Stitches on number 10, Paper Jam. Cyclops threw for 4 points. The Lucky Charms now above the 200-point mark. Still anyone's game with just under 20 minutes left in this period. You saw how quickly points can stack up for one team to the next. Some pretty good hitting out there as Cyclops passes through for 4 additional points. That is number 975. Snitches get stitches. Up against Paper Jam. Just a fierce battle out there in the back of the pack. '57 Honey Badger also getting in on that blocking action. Cyclops, meanwhile, back through for 4 additional points, trying to make this a 20-point jam, following up on those previous 36 points from those previous 2 jams. And with a burst of speed, that is 4 more points for Cyclops. Cyclops calls that jam to an end before number 22 Tranquility can get more than just 1 point after that star pass.
No initial for the original theater. Star pass. Thank you.
Lucky Charms threatening to run away with this game, although it's still manageable, 223 to 144 lead. So plenty of time for things to change. This next jam is underway. That's Piper Drive jamming for the Shamrock Shakes. Match events number 91 Chaos for the Lucky Charms. It is number 91 Chaos who is your lead jammer. Both jammers now through after their initial pass. This will be Chaos's attempt at 4 points. Chaos does relatively easily get those first 4 points. Piper Drive making their first attempt here now. A little burst of speed, and Piper Drive does get 4 points tacked on. Chaos manages to just stay in bounds for 4 points of their own, trying to approach 250 for the Lucky Charms. Four additional points on each side. The score ends up 235 to 152 in favor of the Lucky Charms. Good move there for the Lucky Charms to call off that jam before Piper Drive can make another attempt at 4 additional points for the Shamrock Shakes. Number 975, Snitches get stitches. Jamming here for the Lucky Charms. Needs to beat Tranquility to get through. Is your lead jammer already? And does get through. A nice spinorama. NHL playoffs start next week, or next month, excuse me, as well. Hells Angels is jamming here for the Shamrock Shakes. Hells Angels, however, off to the penalty box, meaning this is a power jam for Snitches Get Stitches and the Lucky Charms. Just under 90 seconds left in this 8th jam of the second period. Once again, a nice spin for 4 points for Lucky Charms, thanks to Snitches Get Stitches. 2 passes away from having the Lucky Charms break the 250 mark. Hells Angels out of the penalty box and trying to make a pass. Got to beat Cyclops, and they do. Nice burst of speed. Here comes Hells Angels. This is under 30 seconds left in this jam, trying to get their first points for the Shamrock Shakes. Meanwhile, 4 additional points for the Lucky Charms. But the Lucky Charms, that jam is called off. Snitches Get Stitches with a 16-point jam there. Two points scored on behalf of the Hells Angels for the Shamrock Shakes. That is the one and only Danny Boy lined up on the jam line for the Lucky Charms.
Just somebody went down for injury, so that's somebody else's stuff being on as well. I know how to reset it. I just couldn't. Yes, we can run it. We can go to 13. Perfect. Yep. You ready?
The one and only Cyclops lining up on the jam line here for the Lucky Charms as we ready to get back to the action. Matching up against Paper Jam for the Shamrock Shakes. Number 10, Paper Jam sent off to the penalty box for the Shamrock Shakes, meaning this is another Lucky Charms Power Jam. Cyclops is your lead jammer here for this 10th jam of the second period. Coming in with speed. Good agility, Cyclops is through for 4 points. This is now a 101-point lead for the Lucky Charms over the Shamrock Shakes. Big hit there on Cyclops on behalf of number 22, Tranquility. Good blocking there by the Shamrock Shakes. Cyclops struggling to get through. Does with a burst of speed. Paper Jam back out on the track, trying to get some points before this 10th jam comes to a close. Matchup we've seen all day, folks. Cyclops versus Tranquility here. Cyclops trying real hard to get through. Carmen with a good move to knock Cyclops down for a moment. Oh, but marked as illegal contact. A shame, I tell you what. And that jam is called off. Not too far from our entrance to this building here today, folks, we have Omaha for Us here with us. They're a nonprofit community center located just north of Dodge and just west of 108th Avenue. They provide essential services and opportunities for community building for our LGBTQ plus individuals and families in eastern Nebraska and western Iowa.
They were doing a little camp. Started.
We have a team timeout making a little interruption in the action here. Just over 10 minutes left in this second period. That whistle means we're about ready to get back underway here. On the jam line for the Shamrock Shakes, that is number 8, Riot. Jamming for the Lucky Charms, number 88, Toxic Waste. Riot is your lead jammer here for the Shamrock Shakes. Toxic Waste not too far behind. Both jammers breaking out of the pack. Riot sent off to the penalty box, meaning this is now a power jam for Toxic Waste and the Lucky Charms. Once again, it also means that because the lead jammer was sent to the penalty box, this jam will go for its full 2-minute duration. Just have under 1 minute 15 seconds left in this 11th jam of the second period. First points of this 11th jam set to be scored by Toxic Waste, or scored, excuse me, by Toxic Waste. And Toxic Waste does make it through for 4 additional points for the Lucky Charms. Riot back out of the penalty box and does score 4 points on that first pass since they made their initial pass prior to being assessed the penalty. Tallying up, that's 4 more points for Toxic Waste and 4 more points for Riot as both the jammers make it through the pack. This jam comes to a close. Unless my eyes deceive me, that is Paper Jam lined up on the jam line for the Shamrock Shakes. There's also number 57, Honey Badger, jamming for the Lucky Charms. Cold Jammer's quickly out of the pack, but it is Paper Jam who is your lead jammer. Cold Jammer's approaching the pack with speed. Paper Jam runs into some good blocking. Honey Badger does make it through for 4 points. Paper Jam is able to make it past Snitches Get Stitches for 4 points of their own. This jam is called off shortly thereafter. We're back underway here. ADHD Destroyer is out and is lead jammer for the Lucky Charms. Unicorn Crash jamming for the Shamrock Shakes. ADHD Destroyer through for 4 additional points. Some good blocking there, preventing Unicorn Crash from getting through the pack. ADHD Destroyer is through for 4 additional points for the Lucky Charms, making a good effort to try and make it to 300 points on their side. Meanwhile, the Shamrock Shakes not too far from 200. The penalty assessed to number 48, Unicorn Crash means this is a power jam for ADHD Destroyer and the Lucky Charms. ADHD Destroyer trying to get past these blockers and making a 16-point jam for the Lucky Charms. Burst of speed, ADHD Destroyer trying to make it through. And is pushed out of bounds by Piper Drive. Piper Drive zooming back. Soul Crush, ADHD Destroyer. Now, this jam came to a close, as you heard. However, immediately prior to that, ADHD Destroyer was assessed a penalty, meaning for this next jam, the Shamrock Shakes will start off with the power jam. We are back underway here. That's number 217, Kermit, jamming for Shamrock Shakes. Once again, Lucky Charms jammer in the penalty box for the moment. Cyclops with a big hit on Kermit to force him out of bounds. And makes it past Crash Corgi to take lead jammer position. Kermit approaching the pack with speed now. As the Lucky Charms finally start to get some players back on the track here. This includes number 225, Scaredy Cat, who is jamming here for the Lucky Charms, their first outing as jammer for this bout. As has been the case all day, great blocking from number 22, Tranquility. And this jam comes to a close. Now, after this bout and after the coming bout, if you're thinking to yourself, man, I just love Derby, I want more of it, and I need some food like me, feel free to head down to Scriptown Brewing Company at 39th and Farnham. That's where our ORD after party will be at. They're our after party sponsor. Please feel free to join us. It is an all ages after party. Keep the fun going there. We'll have a quick official timeout before we get back to the action here. While we're in a timeout, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for all of our Derby participants here today, putting it all on the track and showing all their skills and what they're made of here today. That whistle means we're back, ready for some action to resume. It will be Piper Drive lined up on the jam line for the Shamrock Shakes. Their counterpart will be Exploding Kittens, jamming for Lucky Charms. Piper Drive takes quick advantage and is your lead jammer here. Just under 3 minutes left in this second half. Piper Drive through for 4 additional points, trying to put together yet another one of the magical 20-point jams they had earlier in this game. Number 21, Exploding Kittens, out of the pack as well for the Lucky Charms. Meanwhile, Piper Drive tacks on yet another 4 points. Burst of speed allows Piper Drive to push through. It's now a 12-point jam for them, trying to take the Shamrock Shakes into the 200-point territory. Some efficient blocking preventing Exploding Kittens from getting through. Eventually, both of them are through, so that's 4 points for each. Piper Drive one pass away from their third 20-point jam of this bout. And there it is, Piper Drive through for 4 additional points. That is the third 20-point jam for Piper Drive in this bout. Tremendous. We're back underway for what could be the final jam here of this second half. Hell's Angels, your jammer for the Shamrock Shakes. Up against number 225, Scaredy Cat for the Lucky Charms. Good blocking here means we have no lead jammer just yet. That was a good block by Cyclops to get Hell's Angels out of bounds. About halfway through this jam, neither jammer has attained lead jam position. Testament to just how strong this blocking is. That Cyclops with that kind of speed, my goodness. Up to 30 seconds left in this jam and this game in its entirety. Still no lead jammer here. Ladies and gentlemen, Derby is a tough sport reserved for the toughest of the toughest. Your unofficial score here today, 299 points for the Lucky Charms, 194 for the Shamrock Shakes. Once again, everyone, let's give it a round of applause for all the Derby players here today that put it all on the track. Please feel free to come up and approach the track line and give these players a well-deserved high five as they come around. This is our official final score, 299 to 194. Feel free to stick around for our next game featuring ORD versus Flat Rock at approximately 3 o'clock.
Wow, feeling some drinks here.